Hello and welcome to the Clever Plays Operation Tango Ask Me Anything. I'm Cord Smith, Marketing Director at the studio, and I guess I got a lot of questions we need to answer. Let's kick it right off. Who are the developers of Operation Tango? Well, that's us, Clever Plays. We're a small independent studio in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Before Operation Tango, we're the ones that made Leap of Fate, which was a game, it was a roguelite that featured themes of magic and cyberpunk and had really cool features like randomly generated skill trees. You can catch it on iOS and a few other platforms, so go check it out. Maybe you'll win a copy on Steam. Who knows? What was the main inspiration behind the art direction? Well, there were two main pillars, really, simplicity and mood. Simplicity because we're a small team, and we have one 3D artist, so we had a style that wouldn't take long to do, but because the game's about communication between players, we wanted the environments to be simple so the players knew what they could interact with and what they couldn't, and instead of wandering around making their partner wait for no reason. The other mood was also a pillar. Mood was also a pillar. That's what I was trying to say. And one of the artists we look up to is actually Robert Valley, if you've heard of him. He makes very good use of strong colors and simple shapes, and creates incredibly powerful and striking moods. Use of dominant colors is also something you find in movies a lot, and you can see like Mission Impossible, pretty good at that, which is one of our influences, with colored lighting associated with specific scenes. Beyond that, for branding and characters, we went for a colorful and clean style, one of them very iconic and identifiable. The idea was to differentiate ourselves from violent or serious games, that photoreal and dark, high contrast look. Sometimes they use desaturated colors and whatnot. Instead, we wanted to communicate an upbeat and fun tone in keeping with the general appeal of the game, and we wanted players to feel comfortable and enjoy their experience. Stick around a while. Next question. In what era is the game set? Modern, future, alternate retro 60s future? No, it's actually set in the year 2038. So it's a near future type era. We wanted to feel familiar, yet kind of a full evolution beyond what we know today, the technology that we know. It's a world not so different from ours, but in terms of physical infrastructure, it's one in which augmented reality has kind of gone off the charts. So AR and connectivity are kind of beyond what we know. They're at the center of everyday life. And it's this technology that the game's protagonists are experts at hacking into, seemingly doing the impossible, which is really cool. Can we have a small pitch of the environment, design, and story? Sure. There are four pillars for environmental design. The first is gameplay clarity. We always want players to know what they can do and how to do it and have fun so they don't get frustrated. Country location identity. We wanted to make a cool and positive representation of everywhere the game seems to be. You're popping all around the globe, so we wanted each of those places to really have a cool representation and a positive spin. Then there's a spy feeling. Every environment needed to feel exciting, a little bit dangerous, and fun to infiltrate or to explore. And then you have the near future technologies. So with that, we emphasize the technological advances too, like transport, architecture, security, things like that. In terms of story, well, it's a world where a big part of everyday life has become virtual. So any cyber terrorist attacks are a pretty serious threat. They can wreak havoc. And in this particular case, someone is erasing virtual identities, which is a lot like killing people off, locking them out of their own lives, which is bad. And it's up to the agents at Operation Tango to find out who's responsible and put a stop to that. There you have it. I guess you'll be putting a stop to that. Well, you and a friend. Who will be the main protagonists? Well, the agent is known as Angel. She's a field operative who specializes in infiltration and digital impersonation. And then there's Alistair, the hacker. And he always has the world's databases at his fingertips, so he excels at hacking systems and has a lot of fun doing it, as will you. It actually is a lot cooler than just sitting at a keyboard, as you'll see. Is there a main antagonist? There is. It's a cyber hitman whose identity must be figured out by the players, so I'm not going to give it to you here because it's a secret, so you'll have to find that out for yourself. What were the video games that most inspired you to do Operation Tango? Well, the first one, pretty easy. If you think of asymmetrical kind of game design as keep talking and nobody explodes, which showed us that asymmetrical could work and that people could have a lot of fun with it. But we saw it as a challenge to take that much, much further, and that's been a good inspiration for us. The other one is a short film that you may have seen called Hyperreality, and that's by Keiji Matsuda. And it showed us what near future could look like if augmented reality kind of went off the charts. So that one's a really cool one to look up if you haven't seen it. It's pretty neat. And then Secret Agents. We really loved the secret agent feel in Mission Impossible. Some of the movies in particular, but the entire franchise is pretty awesome, and there's a lot to glean there. It also inspired kind of our name and certainly the theme of our music and things like that, so we've had a lot of fun there. Is Operation Tango exclusive to a single platform? No. We've announced it thus far for Steam, PS4, and Xbox One. There's a chance we'll support other platforms in the future, but we have to see where things go from here, but look forward to that. Next question. Everyone who wants to play this game will have to make their friends buy it too. I guess that's the question at the end. Well, we're still working out the logistics and the rollout strategy for the game, so this is a TBD. Let us get back to you, but just know that we're hoping to make it easy and affordable for you to play with a friend. We want as many people to enjoy Operation Tango as possible, but obviously development costs money, and we have to charge something. So we'll probably make an announcement on that sooner than later. Just wait and see. Is this supposed to be 2 players only? Yes, absolutely. Requires 2 players. It can't be played otherwise, and that's the whole DNA of the game. The crux of the gameplay is based on having 2 players in 2 separate yet complementary environments, and then with only their voices to connect them. So voice chat is critical. Talking to each other, communicating to each other, really a lot of times telling the other partner what you see and how that translates to their situation. It's a ton of fun. Can't wait for you to try it. I think it's asymmetrical, so one person plays and then the other, I'm not sure. Well, no, asymmetrical doesn't necessarily mean that. Asynchronously would mean that, but it's actually both players are playing simultaneously, and they each have an equally interesting and stimulating experience. So asymmetrical just means the 2 roles are different. Think of it like yin-yang, each complementing the other to create a whole. And that's kind of the entire inspiration for the game, is that you have 2 completely different roles that are completely connected and require 2 people to work in real time. It's super fun. Is there a better character to play? Well, don't want to play favorites. Or are they equal in terms of gameplay? Well, in our playtests, I can tell you we have fans of both. In fact, I'm a fan of both, really. It depends on whether you prefer to be in cyberspace or in the real world, but I'd say that's kind of what will dictate your first choice. Most players enjoy various elements of each role, and a lot of people jump right back in and switch roles to try to see the other perspective. I think that's one of the coolest things about the game, is you finally learn what the other player is seeing. That's really fun. Is there graphic violence? No, none whatsoever. There's no graphic violence. It's devoid of violence. Your characters can fail. They can die, quote unquote, but there's no blood. There's nothing that feels scary. Should you want to play with your kids, it's great. It provides a smart, kid-friendly experience. So, don't worry about that. It's unlike a lot of the games out there, and it's not a shooter. What happens if I don't have friends? Is there online co-op? Well, I hope you have friends. I hope nobody feels like they don't have any friends. Join our Discord, make some friends, come out and say hi. The full game includes matchmaking that allows you to play with friends or match up with strangers. We don't think that's necessarily the best way to experience the game. We feel it's kind of a friendship multiplier in a way. So we'd recommend actually that you join our Discord channel if you're looking for people to play with. Find somebody on there and get to know your fellow fans, and get online and have fun. Is there a local split screen co-op? No local split screen. Defeats the purpose of the game. So don't mistake that for a laziness on our part or a decision not to support it. It's just that seeing the other person's screen actually destroys the whole mechanic of needing to communicate with one another. So we need to force you to have this verbal communication, and we think if you try the demo, you'll understand exactly what we're talking about here, and you'll see why local split screen is at odds with what makes the game so special. Can I play Operation Tango if I can't dance? I actually recommend playing it while dancing, because I believe too much of a good thing is great. So knock yourself out. Can I play this with my non-gamer wife? Absolutely. You can play with people who are less experienced. It's really a game about communication, so be careful. If you communicate well with your wife, go for it. But it does require basic familiarity with a game controller, or at least WASD, mouse, PC type controls. I think so long as you're patient with them, this is from personal experience, you should try playing it. Play it with the non-gamers in your life. Give them a really, really cool experience that they didn't even think was possible. I think they'll have a blast. Yeah. Can we see some gameplay? You don't have to see it. We don't have to show it to you. Go play it. The demo is available on Steam, so give it a try and let us know your thoughts. Jump in, soak it up, and know that that's just a little taste of what's to come. Will it get a level editor for more multiplayer content from the community? Nope, no plan for that right now, but given the complexity of how the levels are designed, that's pretty much it. But you never know what will happen in the future. I don't know. Who knows? Can we eat poutine in the game? This is a question for a game studio in Montreal. You know it is the home of poutine. But no, you can't eat poutine in the game, but you can eat it while playing. So make some poutine and put on a bib, and be sure to wrap your game accessories in plastic, because it does get messy, especially if you do it right. Do I need a powerhouse to run this game? On PC, the final game will be optimized for average machines, so that's based on Steam stats. We're trying to hit the middle of the road there. If you have a dedicated graphics card and if your PC is not super old, it should be fine. As far as recommended specs, any quad core and 8 gigs RAM 3D card equal or better than an NVIDIA GeForce, like a GTX 1050 or even an AMD Radeon R9 370 should do the trick. You'll be cooking. It's not as graphic intensive as other games. We made it look great, but it's not going to cook your machine. Is it VR compatible? There's no plan to launch with a VR offering, but I think once we're out of the gate, we'll definitely evaluate the relevance of VR and pursue it if the interest is there and we have the means to produce it and it looks like it's something there. We're fascinated by VR and we think there's something cool there. I think that's the end of the questions. So thank you for listening, viewing this amazing AMA for Operation Tango. Again, don't forget, check out the game on Steam, try the demo, wish list, all that jazz, and look for more from us in the future. And if you want to be part of the community, join the Discord today. Thanks. Bye.
Operation Tango. It takes two to save the world.